Before the break, we were talking with Dr. Evelyn Lamazny about allergy symptom relief and about ways to reduce your exposure. Now we're talking about outdoor allergies and what we need to do about that. Are there times of day that outdoor allergens are just worse than others?
Yes, certainly early in the morning, the pollen count's probably higher, so you want to avoid kind of early morning. But pollen is released throughout the day, unfortunately, and so it's really kind of trying to limit as much exposure as you can during those high pollen count days.
Okay, so early in the morning, later at night, simple steps otherwise that we can do to help reduce pollen exposure?
Sure, just remember that the pollen gets on your clothing, it gets on your bags, it gets on your pets. So anything that you can reduce bringing that inside your home is helpful. People may change their clothes, they may shower, wipe off their paws of their pets, take their shoes off. Just so you can reduce tracking that into your home can be helpful.
Okay, so when you're talking about clothing recommendations to minimize allergens, that's what you're talking about, taking your clothes off from outside.
Yeah, it's really changing your clothes, because there's not much that can reduce how you're going to get exposed clothing wise outside, but that pollen can sit on your clothes and cause you to have symptoms for hours after they come on your clothes. So taking them off so you're not bringing it inside your house can be very helpful.
Gotcha. All right. Are there certain foods that can either worsen or alleviate some allergy symptoms?
That is a great question. I know this has been out there and it's something we're seeing more frequently is pollen food syndrome. So it's not really foods that are going to increase your allergy symptoms, but there are certain pollens that can cross-react with certain foods. For example, birch pollen is kind of the pitted fruit. So an apple may make these people's mouths itch. And that might be a reason to go see your doctor or see an allergist, because we have treatment options for it and can actually improve the symptoms in these patients.
Okay, all right, did not even think about that. Now, let's kind of just review again. If someone tries like these recommendations, showering before bed and taking their clothes off so that they don't bring the outside in and not letting their dog sleep with them and stuff, and they still feel bad, what should they do?
I think that's the time where you ask for help. If you're doing everything you can at home and you're still feeling bad, you don't have to. We have prescription medications, we have other treatment options, and I would go to seek care from your primary care or an allergist. We're always here. And you can make these appointments on the Cone Health website, www.conehealth.com/appointments. And we're happy to help you if you're still kind of suffering out there.
Okay, and I want to go back to this because some people, swear by one certain antihistamine, other people swear by another antihistamine, and maybe you pop one and you're like, that didn't help me at all. Is one day enough to try it? How many days should we really give it to see if it's going to work for us?
That's a good question. I would give it a few. Some people are more sensitive. Even with some of the non-drowsy ones can make people drowsy. So I would definitely look at side effects when you're dealing with antihistamines. And I would probably give it at least 3 days before you say it's not working.
Okay, and that is for the actual pills. What about, like you talked about the nose sprays and you said the steroid sprays? Well, how will we know that it's a steroid spray, and then how is that used different than other like nasal sprays?
Sure, so there's actually multiple nasal sprays available over the counter. There's the saline rinses, which really just kind of clean out the nose. There's a nasal antihistamine out there now. There's the nasal steroids, that it'll say nasal steroid on it. And then there's the nasal decongestants. The only one I don't recommend to take regularly are the nasal decongestants, because they don't actually treat any of the inflammation in the nose. They just kind of decongest the nose, but there's a rebound effect. And if you use it too often, you're going to find that your allergy symptoms get much, 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 much worse.
Gotcha. And you said for the steroid spray, we do need to give that about a week's time or so.
Yes, it builds on itself as it's treating and controlling that inflammation. And really, that is one that should be used daily if you're an allergy sufferer.
All right, we just got about a minute left. You got any final thoughts of allergies and things that we should know?
Allergy season's here. The tree pollen count's high and moderate, and we're seeing early grass season. So now's the time to start these therapies to get ahead of the curve as this allergy season comes upon us.
All right, before we see the yellow pollen everywhere, make sure you're starting to take your allergy stuff. Thank you so much for your time and your expertise. If you missed any of this, it's going to be in the To Your Well-Being section.